As I said, good morning. My name is Garrod, or you can call me Gary. I work as the international manager for our Faculty of Medicine and Health at University College Cork. We have a number of programs in our medicine and health faculty, including pharmacy, which is very, very popular. First of all, I just want to tell you a little bit and introduce you a little bit to Ireland and to the city of Cork, where we are located. So here you can see an image of our beautiful campus. We're one of the oldest universities in the UK and Ireland. We rank in the top 10 oldest. Originally set up as Queen's University, but now known as University College Cork. My email address is here, but you can also follow up with Suno to give you my email address if any of you have any questions for me after today. So Ireland, and I'm sure maybe Ray will talk a little bit about this, is a small country. We have approximately 5 million people total in the country. We are located to the east of the United Kingdom, about 1 hour by aeroplane from London, but we're also highly connected to the rest of the world, to the USA, to the rest of Europe. So you can fly anywhere you need to fly, including from Cork Airport, my city, which has an international airport. We're an English-speaking country. We are now the only English-speaking country in the European Union because the United Kingdom took the path of Brexit. So the only English-speaking country now. So we are still very connected with the European Union economy, which is the largest economic bloc in the world. So here, just to show you Cork, where it is located, you can see by the pin drop, it's in the southern coast of Ireland. It's a small city compared to Seoul or some of your really big cities. And I had the pleasure of visiting Seoul previously. And we have approximately 250,000 people. And although the population is small, the city feels bigger than that. And international students tell me often how Cork feels like a bigger city than really it is. And that's because it is quite spread out, a little bit like Seoul, and also because it's a very important economic hub for things like computers and ICT. For example, we have the headquarters for Apple Technologies for Europe in Cork, but also importantly, it's a huge and important pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical hub. And I'll talk about that in a moment. Ireland is a friendly country. It's a welcoming country, and it's a safe country. And Cork City also ticks all of those boxes. And you see in many publications and articles that Cork will rate in the top 10 friendliest cities in the world, if you want to Google that, quite often. So it is a very nice place to be a student. And we have lots and lots of students in Cork. It's really a student city. Our university in the city centre is very, very large, but we also have a large technological university with thousands of students. So approximately 1 in 5 people walking around the city of Cork is a student. So it's a really good place to be a student. Lots of things to do besides your study, including music, art, restaurants, cafes. It's a good place to be a student. And of course, on our doorstep, we have some beautiful countryside. So in 10 or 15 minutes, you can be outside of the city, visiting our beautiful beaches. We have lots of castles. You know, Game of Thrones is videoed in Ireland. So that type of scenery that you see in Game of Thrones is very obvious here. But really nice place to go and relax if you're taking a break from your studies. This picture on the bottom is the Titanic. Cork Harbour was the last stop for the Titanic before it sailed out into the Atlantic Ocean. So as I said previously, we have lots of industry in Cork, not just pharmaceutical, but also financial services, food and beverage, engineering, and you know, the ICT area that I spoke about. Dell Technologies also has their European headquarters here in Cork. So to the university. So as I said, we're a very old university. We're nearly 200 years old. We were set up by Queen Victoria when Ireland was still part of the United Kingdom, but we became independent almost exactly 100 years ago. And after that, we changed the name to University College Cork. This image is the original university. It's called the Quadrangle, and it's a very beautiful building. Students often compare it to Hogwarts from Harry Potter. So this is an image taken on the northern side of our campus from our wildflower meadow. And UCC takes its green credentials and its environmental friendliness very, very seriously. And in fact, we were the first university in the world to get the green flag for environmental sustainability. So even though our campus is in the city centre, we have lots of green areas. We take sustainability and environmental friendliness very, very seriously. We have approximately 23,000 students. So we're a large university. We're the second largest university in Ireland. And about 20% of our students are international. And last year we had students from 132 different countries. So almost every continent and every country is represented at UCC. We have students from Korea and also from almost every other continent. We have lots and lots of clubs and societies for our students. So whatever sport you are into, we have something for you, or whatever your hobby is, they will be there for you. If you like debating, if you like philosophy, if you like the environment, even if you like Harry Potter, we have a really, really big Harry Potter society there. Here is an image of our campus just from the air. And in the center, you can see our original building, which we call the Quadrangle, but also located around that, we have very modern high-tech buildings. And then around those, we have lots and lots of student accommodation. So if you come to study pharmacy at UCC, we will make sure that you are put into one of the accommodation buildings. There are more than 30 complexes close to the campus. Everything is walking distance, including the city centre, which is 10-minute walking distance from the main campus. Up on the top right-hand corner here, you can see our sports arena. It's one of the best sports facilities of any university in Ireland. We call it the Mardyke Arena. It has swimming pools, indoor running tracks, outdoor running tracks, fitness gyms, courts for playing basketball or badminton. Everything you need is there. Again, located very conveniently on the campus. So as I said, we have a very old university, but we have high-tech facilities also. And down here on the bottom left, you can see the School of Pharmacy, which is quite a new building. So it's not very tall, but that at the back, it goes down. So at the front here, it looks like 3 stories, but in fact, it is 6 or 7 stories because we have a hill going down. But it's quite new. It was built about 15 years ago. So it's high-tech and all of the top labs that you need to train to become a professional pharmacist. And here are just some of our other main buildings around the campus. Something we take very, very seriously at UCC is student support. And when you come to study pharmacy, you will be appointed a mentor in your first year. So there will be one of your professors will be appointed as your mentor. And this person will be your mentor for the full duration of your program. This is very useful and important for you as a student so that you can be successful. So whether you have an academic concern or whether you have a personal problem, your mentor will be there to help and support you. And even if you don't look for their help and they notice that you're stressed or maybe homesick or you're having problems with one subject, they will intervene and help to support you. And as a result, almost all of our international students who start pharmacy at UCC will successfully graduate because of this level of mentoring. And as well as a mentor, we also have a buddy system. So when you come into first year, a student from second or third or another senior year will be matched with you to be your buddy. and they will help you as a student and from the student perspective to help you to understand what's going on, you know, where to find your lecture theatres or any other questions or queries you have for them. So with the mentoring and the buddy system, you get really good support in pharmacy. We also have lots of other university-wide supports, things like the Skills Centre. So if you want to try to improve your written English, your academic English, and your report writing skills, you can do free courses in the Skills Centre. If you want to improve your English language, you have the option to do free English language within our Language Centre. So there's lots and lots of supports in the university, and we always encourage our students to avail of that, because then you will be successful. So University College Cork, in case you're confused, is a university. But within the university, we have 4 faculties, or what we call them colleges. And pharmacy is located in the college or faculty of medicine and health. And within this college, we have 6 schools. So we have university, we have college, and we have school. We have the School of Pharmacy, we have the School of Nursing and Midwifery, the School of Public Health, the School of Medicine, the School of Clinical Therapies, and the School of Dentistry. So 6 schools within that college. But importantly today, it's pharmacy. So now to talk a little bit about pharmacy and the program itself. Here are some of the highlights. It's a 5-year program, and it's an integrated bachelor and master degree. So after 4 years, you have a Bachelor of Pharmacy, and after the 5th year, you have your master. Work placement is part of this, especially in your 4th year and your 5th year. You will do a minimum of 1 year work experience. And I say possibility to be paid, 99% of the students who do this are paid. And this is something which was developed a couple of years ago. We will support you to get the work placement so you don't need to look for it. It is integrated into the whole program. We have a mix of clinical and industrial experience. So students who study pharmacy take 3 pathways. Some of them will go into what we call community pharmacy. So they will work in a pharmacy shop, or they will open their own pharmacy shop. This is a very popular option, and the salaries for this are very high in Ireland and in Europe. The other option is clinical pharmacy. Students who graduate will go into a hospital or a clinic and work in the laboratories and the dispensing units in those centres. The third option, industrial pharmacy, and this is the one that is becoming more and more important. Cork, and I will show you in a moment, is one of the most important pharma hubs in Europe, and we have lots and lots of jobs. The other important thing is our ranking. So this year, we are now ranked number 66 by QS, top pharmacy school in the world. In the past, we were in the top 50 in the world, and we hope in the next 1 or 2 years to be back in the top 50 pharmacy schools in the world. So this is something we're very proud of, and it's one of our most highly ranked programs at UCC. If you do the pharmacy program, you will be accredited by the PSI, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland. And this is an independent body separate to UCC, which accredits our program. And PSI accreditation is recognized all around the world. So if you want to work in Ireland or in Europe, or maybe go to the USA or Canada, they will recognize this. We've also had discussions with the Pharmacy Society in South Korea, and they have told us that if we have any graduates, to please contact them, and they will make sure that they put the structure and the documents in place to accept that. So PSI is very highly regarded globally, and a degree from UCC will open doors all around the world for you. One final important highlight is when you graduate from pharmacy, you will get a qualification called QP status. QP means qualified person. And a qualified person has a certificate separate to your degree. And this certificate allows you to be the person who is in the laboratory, in the industry, in the community pharmacy, who has the license to dispatch and sell drugs. So companies, industry, community pharmacy are always looking for people who have QP status. So this is a separate qualification to the Masters in Pharmacy that you will earn. The schools...
Yes. So Gary, so can you go back?
Yeah, sure.
So I give you some explanation in Korean.
Okay.
Okay. So especially I have to compare this with British system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. A good point. So I know a lot of people will go to study pharmacy in the UK. I'm not 100% sure what every pharmacy school does, but one big difference at UCC is we get you your experience. So in the UK and in Ireland, you need to do a minimum of 1 year to get qualified correctly. You need to have this experience of a minimum of 1 year. In many pharmacy schools in the UK, you study for 4 years and then you do your 1 year at the end. But what happens is some pharmacy schools will say it's up to you to find the place and to find the job. And just be careful about that, because that can sometimes be very difficult, especially if you're an international student, because companies are not sure about the visa and what you have to do in immigration. So the one good thing about UCC is the work experience is part of your thing. We find it for you, we place you, and you can do a range of experience. Some of it you can do in the pharmaceutical industry, and some of it you can do in the clinical pharmacy or community pharmacy. And as I said, we pay that. So thank you for drawing my attention to know that that's an important point.
Okay, so I have a question. So to be qualified, so pharmacist, do they need to take exam? Because the UK has got pre-registration exam. Do you have a similar one?
For South Korea, you mean?
I mean, in the Ireland.
No, so if you graduate from Ireland, that's it. You are now officially MPharm qualified pharmacist. There are no further exams you need to do. If you want, and our degree is transferable to the UK and to Europe. The only exams you may need to do are language exams. For example, if you were going to France or Spain or Italy or another non-English speaking country. If you want to return to Korea, you may have to do a pre-registration exam to satisfy the criteria of the South Korea Pharmacy Association.
Okay, so let me give you an explanation in Korean. Okay, so 지금 조금 몇 가지만 제가 좀 정리를 해드릴게요. 영국은 좀 익숙하지만 아일랜드는 굉장히 좀 익숙하지 않을 수는 있을 거예요. 그래서 일단은 아일랜드 같은 경우에 영국은 4년을 하고 파운데이션 2하고 프리 레지스트레이션 시험을 통과를 하면 약사가 되는데 아일랜드 같은 경우에는 이렇게 5년 과정을 해요. 그래서 이 5년 과정에 1년에 워크 익스피리언스가 포함이 되어 있어요. 그래서 나중에 다음 페이지 보시면 4학년, 5학년에서 6개월, 6개월씩 해가지고 워크 익스피리언스가 포함이 되어 있거든요. 그래서 이 워크 익스피리언스 포함된 이 과정을 5년 마치면 따로 영국처럼 시험을 보지 않고 약사가 된다는 얘기를 해주셨고요. 물론 4년 하면 비팜을 하긴 하는데 4년을 해가지고 취업을 하고 이런 학생들은 거의 없다고 해요. 그래서 5년 과정에 MPharm을 생각을 하시면 될 것 같고요. 그리고 워크 익스피리언스는 말씀드렸던 것처럼 학교 다니면서 하는데 이제 페이 거의 99% 페이드 된다라고 얘기를 해드렸고요. 그리고 영국하고 좀 비교해가지고 좀 여기 영국은 제너럴 파마스티컬 카운슬이라고 있거든요. 근데 여기는 아일랜드는 PSI라고 보시면 될 거예요. 파마스티컬 소사이티 오브 아일랜드거든요. 그래서 여기에 인증이 되어 있다는 거고요. 그리고 지금 현재 이제 이게 궁금할 거예요. 한국에 인증이 된 약이냐라고 하는 게 궁금할 거예요. 하지만 아일랜드는 제가 찾아보니까 그 트리니티, 그다음에 RCSI가 인증이 돼 있지만 여기는 아직 인증이 돼 있지 않지만 여기 미스터 게리 씨가 얘기했던 것처럼 한국하고 굉장히 좀 이렇게 협력을 많이 하고 있거든요. 그래서 졸업을 하면 아시는 것처럼 한국에서 인증 절차만 거두면 바로 인증이 되는 왜 이런 시스템이거든요. 그래서 한국에 방문해서 인증이 된다라고까지 한국에서 얘기를 했다는 얘기를 아까 하셨고요. 그다음에 큐키라는 스테이터스라는 건데 이것은 영국에 없는 자격증이거든요. 이 자격증을 가지고 있으면 아까 말씀드렸던 것처럼 드러그를 딜링한다든지 레버레토리에서 일을 한다든지 왜 이런 자격증을 졸업하자마자 또 아일랜드에서는 준다라는 얘기를 하고 있는 거예요. 그래서 이 정도로 좀 정리를 하고요. 그리고 궁금한 거 있으시면 제가 채팅창에 남겨주시면 또 답변해드리도록 할게요. Okay, so can,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, carry on, yeah.
So just to say, within the school, we are very, as well as teaching you good and practical information about how to become a pharmacist, and with very good facilities and training facilities, we also really focus on you as a person and about how to make you a professional. So from first year, as well as learning chemistry and sciences and how to manufacture drugs and pharmacology and how drugs work on your body, we're also teaching you how to be a professional. So for example, if you want to work in community pharmacy, you need to know how to interact with patients and how to talk to people. So you will have your own station within the school where you set up like your own mini pharmacy shop, and you will do a lot of role playing with actors and with fellow students to learn how to talk to and how to deal professionally with people. And the students always tell me about pharmacy that it feels really like a family. The professors are very friendly with the students and the students with the professors. So it's really a nice community feel, and that really will make you feel comfortable. So they want to help you to think independently. Of course, they will teach you, but they want you to start thinking for yourself and to start thinking critically. And these are really important skills when you come into university and when you go out into your professional life. I won't spend too long on this, but this is an example of what the program looks like. As you can see in year one, you will learn some basic chemistry things, pharmaceutical chemistry. You know, it will be like high school chemistry, maybe a little bit more difficult, just to give you a sense again, because chemistry, of course, is so important, as well as biology. And you will study things like biochemistry, so how the chemistry of your body works, the physiology and anatomy, looking at the human body, and things like then you will be introduced to pharmacology. How do drugs act on your body? So once you understand the body, the makeup of your body, the different organs, and how they work and the chemistry of them, then you will understand how drugs work on different parts of your body. But throughout all of this, as you can see in the yellow, you will be doing professional practice from your first year. So as well as learning to be a pharmacist, you're also learning to be a professional. And in your second year, you will do a small amount of work placement for 3 or 4 weeks, and we will find that for you. But as you can see, in year 4 and year 5, you have your work placement, and this is paid. So you can do 6 months placement in 4th year if you want to, and 8 months, you must do 8 months in your 5th year. So total, you can have more than 1 year work experience by the time you finish. And as I said, this will be a mix of industrial pharmacy experience, community pharmacy experience, and clinical pharmacy experience. And you will be paid in those jobs, and we will find and place you on them. We have a very sophisticated computer system which matches you with the correct company or community pharmacy. And just to talk a little bit about the industry, we have lots. 9 out of the top 10 biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world have a major base, not only in Ireland, but specifically in Cork. So Cork is one of the most important pharma hubs in Europe. In fact, Ireland is the second largest exporter of medicine in the world. So that's a really important statistic, because we are a small country, 5 million people, and yet we're the second largest exporter of medicine in the world. All of the big names are here in Cork. Pfizer, as you know, GlaxoSmithKline, Johnson & Johnson, Novartis, Abbott, all of the big pharma and biopharma companies are here. You can do your experience with them, and they are always looking for our graduates. Our employment rate from our pharmacy program is 100%. So 100% of our graduates are now working. And I don't mean they're working in Starbucks or something. I mean they're working in pharmacy. Now, this is an old slide. It should say 9 rather than 10 because we now have additional ones there. So, but again, these are the big ones. Again, just to show you Cork, down here, we have a very important harbour, Cork Harbour, next to the city. And this is where most of the industrial area is, and the big pharma companies are located around this harbour. We do lots of research at UCC. All of our professors are research active. So when you go in to first year, your professors, your teachers are all research active, and they're passing that to you. So you're hearing all of the most important research that's happening in pharmacy from day one. So you're not going to be learning things that are old-fashioned or from 5 years ago. What you are learning is from today and from the future. So it really is modern thinking. Some of our research institutes, for example, one of them is about bacteria in your gut, and a lot of our pharmacy professors are there. About probiotics, a lot of us drink Yakult and drinks like these. We know how important they are. Our research around probiotics ranks number 2 in the world. So very important research and high profile research in pharmacy and at UCC. And this is the one that studies about probiotics, APC. We do have some scholarships available. So the full international fees is approximately 20,000 euros per year. But if you are satisfying the minimum entry criteria to get into the program, and I know Ray will talk with you about foundation programs and everything like that in a moment for entry purposes, but if you are satisfying minimum entry criteria, we will then do an interview with you, a short interview, about 15 or 20 minutes. And if you're successful, we will offer you 25% off of that. And this 25% applies to all of the years, all of the 5 years of the program. And you can see more on UCC scholarships. And look, I'll just finish by saying some of the main things from my presentation. Cork is a student city. You will feel very safe and welcome when you come here. It's a good place to study. It's small, but it's not too small. You can, when you need to focus on your study, it's easy. But then there are lots of things and hobbies you can pursue. You can walk everywhere, so you don't have to spend 1 or 2 hours every morning on a train or on a bus. You can walk everywhere you need to walk. We have a very high-ranking program. We're the only English-speaking country in the EU. The facilities are great. You have guaranteed work experience and accommodation. And of course, the chance to stay and work in Ireland afterwards is very good. And I should say, when you graduate with an MPharm, automatically you get 2 years to stay in Ireland to look for a job. But you don't need to look because you will find a job quite easily. So thank you for taking the time, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions that you might have.